Fail early, fail often, fail forward. It's always a little bit frustrating to me when people have a negative relationship with failure. Failure is a massive part of being able to be successful. You have to get comfortable with failure. You have to actually seek failure. Failure is where all of the lessons are. When you go to the gym and you work out, you're actually seeking failure. You want to take your muscles to the point where you get to failure, because that's where the adaptation is. That's where growth is. Successful people fail a lot. They fail a whole lot more than they succeed, but they extract the lessons from the failure, and they use that the energy, and they use the wisdom to come around to the next phase of success. You gotta take a shot. You have to live at the edge of your capabilities. You gotta live where you're almost certain you're going to fail. That's the reason for practice. Practice is controlled failure. You're getting to your limit, getting to your limit, getting to your limit. You can't lift that. You can't do that. Until you get to the point that all of a sudden your body makes the adjustment, and then you can do it. Failure actually helps you to recognize the areas where you need to evolve. So fail early, fail often, fail forward.
When I say lean, do I mean down to the bone? Well, if you've ever heard me speak, lean has nothing to do with an austerity program at all. Lean has to do with teaching people to think and see waste. And when they see waste, they use their brain, this creative little box up here, and they find better ways to do things that are more efficient. Now, in a lean model, the key is to continually do that. So if you have government adopting a lean strategy, you have millions of people evaluating what they're doing every day, seeing the waste, and then eliminating that through continuous improvement and creative thinking. The power of that is, most people immediately say, well, I'm going to work myself out of a job. Well, just the opposite happens. Because what happens is, in a lean environment, you're constantly coming up with better ideas, more creative ways to solve problems, so you come up with new innovations that actually create more jobs. In a true lean culture like mine, we never lay anyone off. We just keep hiring more people. That's the beauty of lean. It is not about cutting things down to the bone. It's just the opposite. It's about innovation, creativity, efficiency, and getting everybody engaged in solving the problem. And if we do that, we not only have a more efficient government, but we have an exciting government that provides better opportunity for everyone with less. That's what lean's all about. Thanks.
A key concept in lean is waste, which can be defined as anything that doesn't add value to the customer. In lean, there are 8 types of waste. The first, transport, is all about unnecessary movement of work. For example, sequential process steps are not co-located, or files are being transported from one location to the other. The second type of waste, inventory, is about holding information and material longer than required. For example, piles of unprocessed work, unread emails, or overstocked marketing materials. A third type of waste is motion, which is the non-value added movements of people, such as unnecessary meetings or walking to the copier and printer. Waiting causes waste through delays or stoppages. Waiting for instructions, waiting for the next production step, or simply running slow computers are all part of it. Another type of waste is overproduction. Unnecessary efforts producing work in excess or ahead of customer requirements. Think of printing paperwork before it's needed, or processing items before they're required in the next process step. A sixth type is over-processing. Unnecessary activity due to complex processes and systems, such as too many approvals or an application form where the same data is needed in different places. A defect is the effort involved in inspecting for and fixing defects, such as data entry errors. The eighth type of waste, unutilized people, covers aspects such as ignoring improvement ideas from people on the floor or restricting employees' responsibilities to make routine decisions.
Oh hey, I didn't see you there. Well, now that I have your attention, I'd like to take a minute to talk about how we here at Parr Hillsboro have been leaning up our stocking process. This was the old way of doing things. It was all jumbled up and inefficient. It would take a long time to walk this cart through the store because you would be going to every corner for just one basket. But we're going to toss that idea. Well, now that we have that out of the way, I wanted to take a minute to show you our newer, more efficient way of putting stock away. These are our newer, bigger bins that allow for a lot more product to be brought inside at once. That saves time. It also has these organizers so we can put each product in its specific bin. It even has a map showing where these bins go on which aisles in the store. But wait, there's more. This is the final step of our leaning process. This is our centralized overstock location that allows both customer service and load builders to get the product they need to their customer quickly. Well, that's enough leaning around. Let's get back to work. Hey folks, and welcome back to Parr Hillsboro. We've been striving to make a leaner and more efficient future for us here. Today we're going to be talking about pallet wrapping. Here we have someone wrapping a pallet the old-fashioned way. This is slow, inefficient, and it's downright hazardous if you have to walk under the pallet. Alternatively, you can have a second coworker come give you a hand. This both saves time and makes it more safe. Sounds great, right? Wrong. This takes that coworker away from what they were doing in the first place and wastes even more time. Recently, our advanced team of scientists over at Research and Development have been working day and night to give us the latest and greatest pallet wrapping technology. Look, here's one now. This here is the Pallet Wrapper 9000 2.0. It's going to make it safer, faster, and easier to wrap pallets. Let's see it in action.
You spin my head right round when you go down, down.
You spin my head right round when you go down,
Hey, walk out the house with my swagger, hop in that whip, yo, I got places to go. People to see, time is precious, I look at my Cartier out of control. Just like my mind where I'm going, the women, the shorties know nothing but clothes. No stopping at my Pirelli's on, unlike my jewelry that's always on. I know the storm is coming, my pockets keep telling me it's gonna shower. Call up my homies, it's on and popping the night cause it's meant to be ours. We keep a fadeaway shot cause we ballin' and spittin' up Patron every hour. Look mama, ow, you just like the flowers. Girl, you the truth with all that goody power.
I know what you're thinking. Gee, that sure is one swell piece of machinery. Well, you'd be right. That's enough leaning around and watching YouTube videos. Let's go make the future of Parr today.
Hey, my name is Mark, Parr Bend. This is our dispatch office. 90% of our invoicing is done from the dispatch computer system, which meant our dispatcher would walk down here after invoicing and file the paperwork. So you'd walk from one end of the room to the other end of the room. So we decided we would just take and move the trays down to this end of the office. So now when Troy's done invoicing, all he has to do is turn around and put the paperwork in the appropriate truck bin.
This is Casey at Parr Lumber Bend. We decided just to do some cleanup and organization, so when fixing our trucks, forklifts, or moffetts, we can find things easily. Before we had stuff spread out in 5 different locations. Now everything's labeled, marked, and all located so we can keep track of everything. We got all of our chains labeled by truck, so every truck has There are 2 sets on, and then we got a spare set to swap out. We got fluids, got our extra flare kits. All of our parts are organized by truck, so we got Peterbilt and Sterlings, and then all Moffett parts. And this probably saves us more time than we could probably do.
Went the distance, now I'm back on my feet, just a man.
Aristotle said you are what you repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence ought to be a habit, not an act. Don't ever forget that. George Washington Carver said, when common people do common things in uncommon ways, they command the attention of the world. I just described your grandmother. I know you're tough. I know you're seaworthy, but always remember to be kind. Always. Don't ever forget that. Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. Pride is the burden of a foolish person. You'll never be a great shipmate. You'll never be a great executive. You'll never be a great teammate if it's all about you. You'll never be a great supervisor or council person if it's all about you. You'll never be a great staff member if it's all about you. Rather, make sure that servant's towel is always big. On President Cropper's bookshelf, in his bookshelf, he has every book from Plato's Republic to Lessons in Leadership by Coach Wooden. John Wooden coached basketball at UCLA for a living, but his calling was to impact people. And with all those national championships, guess what he was found doing in the middle of the week? Going into the cupboard, grabbing a broom, and sweeping his own gym floor. You want to make an impact? Find your broom. Every day of your life, you find your broom. You grow your influence that way. That way you're attracting people so that you can impact them. Final lesson. Son, if you're gonna do a job, do it right.